In this video, I'm going to teach you how to win high-profile customers and how to close high-ticket sales. Assume you're going to meet the president of a company to make a sales presentation. If you close this deal, this would be the highest sale you make ever in your life. Tell me, how nervous are you? According to my sales training and coaching experience, I have encountered many of the sales professionals, including the seasoned sales professional, they get nervous at a situation like that. I also have been in the same mill when I started my sales career. When you get nervous at a situation like this, the result is your biggest sales slip to your biggest competitor and you get frustrated. But if you want to perform really well at a situation like this, you have to come to the peak emotional state. Therefore, in this video, I will teach you how to speak confidently in front of the high-ticket customers so you can win great deals. Ivan Pavlov is a Russian scientist who lived in the 19th century. He did a phenomenal experiment. I'll simplify his experiment for the ease of clarification for you. He took a starving dog and a juicy piece of meat and a large bell. So whenever he gives the piece of meat, he rang the large bell. He did several times. He did several days. Every time this dog is given a juicy piece of meat, he rang the bell. At a time, he did it totally different way. Instead of giving the juicy piece of meal, he rang the bell. What happened? The dog started to salivate just like he is having the piece of meat. So whenever he rang the bell, the dog started to salivate. So what happened actually? Initially, when he gave the piece of meat to the dog, there was a link between the juicy piece of meat as well as dog salivate. Now, he artificially created another link between the bell sound as well as dog salivate. Now, the dog responds only to the bell sound. In neuro-linguistic program, we call this process setting an anchor. Bell sound is the anchor. Ringing the bell is called firing an anchor. Now, the same principle I'm going to apply when you go to meet high-profile customer. Now, what I want you to do is when you get into the high-profile customer, you should get into the high emotional state or the peak emotional state. So you can make your presentation very effectively and confidently and you can close the deal. Now, here what I'm going to do is instead of dog, I replace you. Don't get upset with me. I'm going to teach you this principle. Now, instead of dog salivate, what you have to do is you have to come to the peak emotional state. How I'm going to do is I will replace the piece of meat with your success story. Success story in the sense you have to think about a situation where you have closed the deal very successfully. That should be your biggest deal up to now. Now visualize that. Close your eyes and visualize that. What can you see? You get the purchase order, the customer is really happy and you are really happy, you are really excited, and look at the room of the customer. What kind of things you can see, what kind of color you can see, what kind of smell you can get, visualize that situation. Now when you are doing that, what would happen? You will having a dopamine spike in your brain related to that incident. Keep on practicing this until you're very familiar with that. Now what we are going to do is very serious thing. Now instead of bell, I am going to replace another tool for this. Now you can't take a bell when you get into a customer, right? It's obvious. Now what we are going to do is we are going to make an anchor. Your anchor may be having a hand fist like this or telling yes, or some top salespeople, they are using a scent. They're having a small scent bottle in their pocket and they spray that. So you can use either one of these anchors. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two anchors. One is hand fist and at the same time you are telling yes. It's just like this. Yes. Right? When you say yes, you have to come to this peak emotional state. The peak emotional state in the sense, when you close that deal, the emotional state you had. Now, the most important thing is, if you want to make this NLP technique work, you have to practice this several time period. And at the same time, when you close a deal, do this technique. Say yes, then you will be really familiar with this. Then your brain will be linked with this anchor. If you really practice this, when you say yes, and at the same time, you should get that emotion instantly. Now, assume you have completed this. Assume you have really practiced this. Now, when you get into your prospect, very important prospect, what you have to do before you get into his room, you have to say yes. So when you do that, what would happen? You will get into the emotional state. I mean the peak emotional state. When you get into the peak emotional state, you're having the confidence, you're having the dopamine, you're having the energy, and you can make a super presentation and your probabilities closing the sales is really high. I hope this tool is really handy for you. Please comment below what you thought about it and what are the other anchors you can use for this particular purpose. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching this video. Please share this video, read below information and subscribe to my channel. I will offer you more videos like this to improve your sales and to grow your business. Have a great day.